Shalom, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Barak. Um, I wanted to share this dream that I had at some point as I was sleeping last night or either this morning, I'm not sure. And um, ironically, I forgot about the dream for everything, just all for the Lord, Yahawashi, to return it back to me um, verbatim what I remember. Uh, okay, so it started off in like this house. I was in this house and I can recall like water leaking from the roof and I didn't know anybody in the house. I didn't know anyone. Some people were like kind of like sketchy and like hiding behind stuff and I was just like walking like trying to get out of that house. But I could hear people outside like shooting and screaming and loud voices. You could just hear like it was chaotic outside. So it was nighttime as well. So when I went outside, 'cause I wanted to get out of there, I wanted to kind of like move. I don't know if that's just how the dream started out. Um, but I wanted to leave the house. So as I was walking outside, everything was dark. You couldn't see any lights whatsoever, but there was um there was like lights coming from above me. How can I put it? It was lights coming from above me, but it was still super dark to where those lights didn't find me out. Like if someone was to look in my direction, it wasn't like they were going to see me because it was still dark. I don't understand how that was, but that's how it looked. Um, so I remember seeing like these people running past. I seen troops across the street from the house. They were like going into the house, like ransacking the houses, and people was running out, and you could hear people getting shot. Like they were going in there, and the people that was able to run out, they shot them in the back. So as I see that, I kind of like hide behind this bush, and I'm watching it all take place, and I'm just terrified. I'm crying, I'm scared, I'm shaking, heart pounding. I'm like, Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha, hide me, protect me, hide me, protect me. Well, once I started to walk from behind that bush, there was a trash can like right next to that bush, so I hid behind that dumpster. And as I hid behind that dumpster, I heard somebody like whispering, like they were talking and they ran past it, but they were talking, and it was like a man and like a I don't know if it was like a little teenage boy, but you can tell he was really really short. I know it wasn't another man, but they ran past, and as they ran past, I ended up kind of like following behind them for whatever reason. I don't know. I ended up following behind them. Okay, and this is when I realized what those lights were. So when I actually looked up, I realized I was standing underneath a massive chariot. And the only way I knew it was a chariot is because how it looked from me standing up underneath it and it being above me. It was barely moving. And it was moving, but it was moving so slow to where it looked like it was barely moving. But it was so big you couldn't see the beginning or the end of it. Okay. Now it had lights under it, but not like lights of how we would expect them to look. It was kind of like they were they were lights, but they were kind of dull, and I guess that's why it still looked like it was dark outside. Okay, so there were people like everywhere. You could see some fire down the street. You could see like it just looked chaotic. Okay, so as I noticed it's a chariot, I just stand in my tracks and I'm just literally shaking and I'm looking up like, oh my goodness, right? So, but this is the thing. To me, it looked like the best way I can describe it into words, because the technology on it was so out of this world. Don't know how to, I don't know how to articulate it, but the best, the way it was moving simultaneously, it was like all these different, uh, gadgets and, uh, compartments. I don't know. I wish I could. It reminded me of like a as how all the pieces were moving. It reminded me of like a antique father clock, but like if you open it up and look inside, you know how like you see all the nuts and bolts and everything just like moving and simultaneously to make the clock continuously work. But that's how everything was moving. However, you didn't see like um the compartments didn't look like a father clock. I'm trying to explain it, y'all. I don't know how to, but it was that everything was moving like that, right? And it was a technology that this chariot, it's like, I knew it was a chariot. I feel like everybody else thought it was aliens, UFO, whatever. I knew exactly what it was, right? So there were so many people just standing. Like, remind you, I said you can't see the beginning, the end, the sides. I looked up and knew exactly what that was, and it was almost uh, like it manifested from the spirit realm um, into the natural because it didn't look. It didn't look like. How can I tell you? It didn't look like it was metal. It didn't look like it was solid or solidified, right? It was kind of like hologram-esque, but I knew it was actually there because you can hear a slight hovering kind of energy, like a vibration to it. Like it wasn't loud, it wasn't rumbling, but it was you can hear and feel it at the same time. Like the energy of it was so powerful. I knew that the angels was in there, but it was almost as if it was alive because let me tell you this part. Um, Underneath the chariot, you can see all of these different compartments. It was like it was all working in simultaneously together. And while you're seeing that, everybody that was standing underneath it, which was like I can't put a number to it. It was many of people. Um, some people were just scared because they noticed it and they were screaming, thinking, okay, aliens, whatever. Um, and then like people were like hurting each other and fighting, and then those troops were doing what they were doing. So it was like it was so much going on all at the same time. Just like I didn't off top notice what it was because when I first came out the house, I noticed the lights above me, but I didn't, it was still dark. I didn't look up. So I feel like it was the same energy for a lot of people because it was so much going on ground to where it was like everyone was distracted from really looking up. But those who did look up, they were actually terrified because they were looking up and they thought that's what, they thought there was going to be aliens or whatever. Um, Whereas there were other people fighting, trying to escape their homes, and the troops was doing things, so they were terrified from that. But it was like a spirit of fear. Like if the fear was so thick outside, it was just everybody was just terrified for just multiple reasons. Like it seemed like through the spirit, Yahawashi Yahawashi had allowed the actual spirit of fear to walk the ground of the earth, and you can feel it. It didn't matter that I was a believer. So when it okay, let me get back. Okay. Oh, okay, so I'm standing underneath the chariot, and right where the beam would be, you could see it. It was a circular um it was circular like what we would imagine it to be, but it wasn't open. It wasn't lit up. To me, it felt like a portal because that's what it looked like. Okay, in that area, in that section of the beam, um, it was like a dark metallic gray. Um, but what makes me say it felt like a portal was because the beam portion felt like it was alive, like um, like how can I say it? When you look into it, um, it looked like it was like never ending, if that makes sense. And the circular portion around it, You can see it like it was vibrating, like it was alive, but it wasn't vastly vibrating. I'm just I'm trying to explain it the best way I can um based on what it looked like to me and what I felt, the energy that I felt. Um, so I'm trying to close the door, like talking. So anyway, so that the being part, it felt like a portal to me. Like I don't know, like what are those called? I can't think right now. I'm trying to get it out, y'all. Slovakia. I'm trying to get it out. Um, it felt like a portal. However, it not a galaxy. But it felt like, you know how like when you look up in the star, like in the Shemayim, you look up in the heaven at night, you see all the stars around it, but the sky is like black, and you can still see how bright the stars are. Well, for whatever reason, it just seemed like you could when I looked up, it was like it was into it. It was another dimension. It was a different dimension. So I noticed though underneath around that I'm standing there and I'm just praying like, oh my gosh, Yahawashi. I was fascinated, I was excited, but I was terrified because a part of me was like, Lord, are you going to deliver me? Because like why am I not going up? But I noticed that all those people that were standing around and like troops and everything, the chariot was able to scan them as it was slowly going by. And it was scanning because how I know it was scanning is because all of those people that were standing down on the ground, you could see their faces and it had profiles for each and every one of them. Like their profiles had their name, birthday. It was like a little summary of who they were. You could see their faces. And then out of all of those people that was on there, when I tell y'all, it seemed like every last person that was in the vicinity of where I can visually see them, all of their faces was underneath that chariot with all their profiles, and they had red X's right in the center of their forehead. Red X's. So I was terrified. I was like, how about you now? Deliver me. Then I was wondering, I was like, is this some Project Bluebeam? Because like, why, number one, why does the chariot kind of look see-through? But then I was thinking to myself, I had all these different thoughts. I was like, no, because I can feel the energy of it. Like, so I'm talking to you, how about you now, and talking to myself at the same time. And right as the chariot slowly comes up to me, it's already over me, but the portal part, like the portion where the beam would be, as soon as it came right above me, because mind you, it was going slow. So as soon as it came right up, that portion came right above me, the whole portal part, it lit up like really bright, like you can hear like ooh, like that. It lit up. And when it lit up, I looked up and it was all these different lights, like different colored lights within the beam that beamed up like a sparkle. And when that happened, I just looked and I said, Lord, well, I said, Lord, how about Yahawashi? Lord, how about Yahawashi? Baba Kusha, Salakia. And then I woke up. I didn't know what that meant. I don't know if that meant um I was protected. I don't know if I know I was terrified the whole time. I just don't know what that meant. To me, I'm hopeful that it was scanning me and I was, of the elect. But I didn't get the reaction that everybody else got, so Lord willing, I don't know, but like just thinking about it is just, I don't even know how I woke up this morning and forgotten about it, but as I was looking for a lesson to watch, I saw a brother that posted not a lesson. It was I'm gonna screenshot it and I'm gonna put it in here. But I saw a brother that made a post in the community section, and it was a chariot. It was a massive chariot. And in that moment, Yahawashi dropped it back in my spirit, everything that I said. So I'm grateful that Yahawashi did not allow me to forget that dream. Like, like, I don't know, but regardless of being a believer, there was still um, a heavy feeling of fear, man. Like, we, we're hopeful to be of the elect, and I knew I was still me in my dream. I knew I was a believer. Everything that my life is now, I knew that in the dream, but it was just like a sense of in that moment, like, am I, it was like that was the moment to where you will know whether we truly are of the elect or not, And for me, it was just like I still didn't know that up until that point. So I was terrified. And seeing everybody out there, everybody, I did not see not one person out there where all of that chaos was happening. Did I see underneath that chariot in their profiles? Not one of those people did I see did not have a red X on their forehead. And it's just like thinking about it now, I wasn't taking it into consideration in the dream, but um, thinking about it now, awake, um, it just truly goes to show that 2/3 of our people are going to be cut off and not delivered. Um, but not just 2/3 versus the 1/3, it's 2/3 of our people plus the other nations. That's a massive number, y'all. Like, and to see this big, huge shift, I could not see a beginning. I did not see an end. I didn't see any of that. I just saw, and it was so big. That's all I was able to see. But I can only imagine how far it stretched. Like, and technically, I don't even know if it was nighttime now that I think about it. Like, was it nighttime? I don't know. But I just wanted to share that. And I just pray that it be a faith booster. Um, to the sincere hopeful, I'm grateful Yahawashi allowed me to have that dream. And I was just thinking about it like that was so terrifying. Because seeing it, knowing what it was when other people thought it was something completely different, like according to what Esau has told everyone, the fear didn't come from it being the angels of Yahawashi, but they thought it was some type of alien invasion. And I knew exactly what it was. And I still felt that heavy fear myself. I was terrified. I'm surprised I didn't have a heart attack. It wasn't this urgency of, hey, beam me up. Like, oh, I was scared. Like, am I going to be beamed up? So, got me, in the mind frame of like examining myself, my spirit, even, because why was I in that spirit? I don't know, like, I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody's going to have that fear to a degree, but the level of fear that I felt was just got me looking at myself right now. So I just wanted to share that. And I pray that, like I said, I pray that it was comforting and faith boosting. Yeah, how about you, Shalom.